I'm ready to listen to my next Queen song, and I guess this is number 29 in the series of Queen 50. And just a note for those of you who say from time to time that I'm missing a lot of Queen songs along the way. This Queen series is just the first step into Queen. And, well, if you're super, super desperate for me to listen to a particular Queen song that I have skipped, you can always commission it, or you can wait until some other time when I decide to go back and listen to the next batch. Also, you can check out my Ko-fi and Patreon pages if you wish to see what extra goodies I have there. Things like exclusive content, which I can't put on YouTube because of copyright issues, and live sessions where we all get together and listen to music live together, talk about it, share ideas. Lots of fun stuff there. Now, this piece is Rock It. I suppose, let's see, there was another Queen song that was all about rock. We Will Rock You. Is this kind of the same? I'm about to find out. When it comes to rock songs, Queen is best known for We Will Rock You. I guessed right. But 3 years later, they released this lesser-known tribute to the pleasures of rock and roll. The pleasures of rock and roll. I guess I can say that I have begun to understand and enjoy some of the pleasures of rock and roll music. Queen drummer Roger Taylor wrote this and wanted to sing it, but Brian May and the producer Reinhold Mack suggested Freddie Mercury should. They eventually recorded both versions. Brian voted for Freddie's. John Deacon voted for Roger's. Well, that wasn't very helpful. Finally, they decided to make a compromise and leave Freddie singing the intro and Roger taking the lead vocals from then on. Is this the first time that these two have shared a song like this? This is going to be interesting. Mercury, however, sang it on stage. Let's see what it sounds like.
When I hear that rock and roll, it gets down to my soul. When it's real rock and roll, oh rock and roll. When I hear that rock and roll, it gets down to my soul. When it's real rock and roll, oh rock and roll.
Okay, I love it. Up until this point, there's some, but I gotta hear, was that two voices there? Was that double track? Was that both singers?
That rock and roll, it gets down to my soul.
I guess that is two different singers there. I don't think it's Queen. I don't think it's Freddie and Freddie. I think it's Freddie and it was Roger that was also singing. Interesting little insertion to have both of them together there. Now my question is, is this a combining of the two separate recordings? Or did they record it yet again with both of them? I'm not clear on that. I guess I'll have to look it up later. This is the intro, right? This is Freddie's moment, and he gives a wonderful, passionate delivery. He's so deep into it. It's great. But isn't it interesting that it's not actually the solid rock and roll style yet? In fact, it's an arpeggiated pattern. Well, I've got to set up my harp pedals here. Give me just a second. Let's see. Is this really what it is? Boom. I guess that's what it is, but I wonder if they played it in flats or sharps. A little fact about harp. Harp doesn't love keys with a lot of sharps. It's not as resonant as a key with a lot of flats in it. So that's why I'm looking at this thinking, did they really do it in B major with 5 sharps? Probably it works better on guitar than it does on harp. But anyway, it'll be fine. Let's see what I'm doing here. I lost my spot. Back to 1. Let's do this just for fun. I haven't even listened to the whole song yet, but I can't resist. When I hear something that I know would be quite comfortable on the harp, I've got to give it a try.
When I hear that rock and roll, it gets down to my soul. When it's real rock and roll, oh rock and roll. When I hear that rock and roll, it gets down to my soul. When it's real rock and roll, oh rock and roll.
Scroll and be ready. I remember this voice from I'm in love with my car. Yeah, I remember this voice from when I'm in love with my car. Let's hear that again. I was kind of distracted, right? Because I was playing around a bit. But let's start here just before the transition and I'll pay more attention.
When it's real rock and roll,
Rock and roll.
oh rock and roll.
And I can't resist thinking, now that I played with the harp at the beginning, I'm thinking, what would I do with the harp here? How would I make it really give this sound? I won't take the time for it right now, but we'll see what happens along the way. You know, I wasn't sure how it would be with switching between the voices, the singers, mid-song, but because of the massive style shift, it works really well. And it's kind of like Freddie is the one who's singing, I'm in love with rock and roll. And he's just pouring his whole soul into this expression. I just love some real rock and roll, whatever it is. When I hear that rock and roll, it gets down to my soul. And then when Roger Taylor comes in, it's as if that is the song that Freddie is listening to somehow. It's the song he chose to turn on the radio. And I can somehow imagine Freddie sitting back and just immersing himself in the sound as Roger Taylor serenades him, rock and roll style. There's a little spot here that I wondered whether it was a little interjection by Freddie. It was at the beginning of this section. I'm going to back up just a little bit. No, I guess it was Roger Taylor. It's so quirky, the little dee-dee-dee-dee that's jumping around octaves here, dee-dee-dee-dee, and kind of gives it a very, I'm going to say, modern feel. Almost, it's not electronic, but it could be electronic. This incredibly modern rock feel compared to the opening, which was more classic blues and just this timeless classic quality where you couldn't really place it in a particular time music-wise. Well, you could say it's not earlier than such and such a year. But you could put any different voice with it and treat it in myriad different ways interpretively. And it could be incredibly modern. It could be blues. It could be almost classical. And so this contrast between the voices, I remember when I said that Roger's voice was metallic, and I still come back to that description. It's metallic. It has the modern edge to it. It's industrial era. I don't mean that this music sounds like factory noise, but there is this metallic edge to it, and the way they have arranged the music, instrumental music along with it, also has this very modern, angular, jumpy, metallic tones, grays and black and silver and all the different metallic sheens and shades. It's such a massive contrast from, I'm still processing this contrast. That's kind of why I stopped here for a little bit, but let's go on now.
What do you know? What do you hear? On the radio, coming through the air.
On the radio.
I said, Mama, I ain't crazy. Alright. Hey, come on, baby, say it's alright to rock and roll on a Saturday night. I said, you can get your suit and come along with me. Said, come on, baby, now come and rock with me. I said, yeah. What do you do?
Little bit juicy there, though. An extra bit of.
Go downtown and get some of that pine jive. I said, Mama, I ain't crazy. Alright. Hey, come on, baby, say it's alright to rock and roll.
Okay, I do have to hand it to Roger, though. He's doing more than just sticking with a clean, hard metallic edge. He's actually giving it a lot of passionate flexibility vocally within this. As I said a moment ago, extra juicy in places. I used the term squishy once in describing a sort of blues quality piece. That was quite a while back, but it is something it is a term that I think works really well to describe this sort of. It can be rhythmic squishiness, Or it can be pitch, flexibility, slide, like you're handling some Play-Doh or silly putty and just forming it however you please. It's not a metallic thread, or we could say, to go with the metallic theme a little bit longer, it's not pieces of rebar laid specifically on pitches. And all the different vocal styles I've listened to in this journey so far. Now I'm just playing with it now in the moment. I'm thinking it could be rebar, it could be a very fine needle, it could be a knife. There are so many different vocal qualities that have this modern edge, but this is squishier, which is, I suppose, why we call it rock and not metal. But I love the way he just throws himself into it, and you feel the passion and the fervor in his voice.
I ain't crazy.
But then surrounding all of that vocal squishiness is this instrumental accompaniment, which is very strict, rhythmically precise, and carefully, cleanly placed. These octaves, they're, you could say they are the needle element, aren't they? And then the drums, and the bass even. It's all very cleanly organized and stacked sequentially throughout. Works really well. It gives him kind of a framework within which he can flow and squish his notes around.
Alright. Hey, come on, baby, said it's alright to rock and roll on a Saturday night. I said, she can get you soon and come along with me. Said, come on, baby, come and rock with me. He said, yeah, we're gonna rock it.
That started the guitar solo. I'm going to go back and listen to it again. I promise I won't stop it through. But I had to say something, right? I had to say that started the guitar solo. Sounds like it's trying to get started, like a motorbike just revving up, just a little bit. Okay, let's get going. It kind of kicks and bucks a little bit as it takes off. Maybe it's because it needs a little bit of tuning up, or maybe it's because it's on rough ground. Whatever it is, it has a lot of character to it. That's what I would say this piece does. Is it really has a lot of character in its details and textures and sonic mix. Okay, let's not stop the motorbike in the middle of its run.
Come on, baby, said it's alright to rock and roll on a Saturday night. I said, she can get you soon and come along with me. Said, come on, baby, come and rock with me. He said, yeah, we're gonna rock it.
I love how they just sing on a drone note all throughout that.
To rock and roll on a Saturday night. I said, she can get you soon and come along with me. Said, come on, baby, come and rock with me. He said, yeah, we're gonna rock it. Tonight, we want some prime time. We want some prime time.
That's a chorus. So whose voice is that? Is that going to still be? Did it say? No, it didn't say who's singing the chorus. Probably it's just the whole band like they normally do.
We're gonna rock it. Tonight we want some prime time. We want some prime time. We want some prime time. Tonight we want some prime time. We want
A
some
bass.
prime time. We want some prime time.
Bring it a bit higher.
Tonight we want some prime
He definitely has a bit of rhythmic drive to it. It just gets you into it.
Get some of that prime time. Get some of that prime time. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, honey. Get some of that prime time. Get some of that. Get down. Come on, honey. Come on, honey. We're gonna rock it tonight.
That ending section here, we've got this sort of buzzing bees building up intensity and it's pitching higher and higher and higher as the suspense is building. Come on, come on, come on, come on, honey, come on. Get some of that, and going on, and then it says, get down, and that's when it starts to dive down.
Get some of that prime time. Get some of that prime time. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
Come on, come on, come on.
honey. Get some of that prime time. Get some of that. Get down.
And you dive.
Come on, honey. We're gonna rock it tonight.
I can't help but wondering, as this song is going through rock and roll, and you know that rock and roll also had another meaning, a more sexual meaning, and I feel like they're kind of playing around with that a little bit, and they're casting it as being about the music, but then really looking at these lyrics, I'm thinking, it's a little bit more than that. Come on, honey, come on, honey, come on, honey. And we're gonna rock it tonight. You know, it's like, there's more than just music going on here. Might be something going on with rock music in the background, but I do feel like there's a bit more than just music going on here. What a vibrant piece of music. And, well, I have to say, because I mentioned it at near the beginning when Roger Taylor's part came in, what would I do with the harp there? I feel like, really, I ought to do what they did with Freddie's voice, and that is leave Roger Taylor to do his thing. Because I think if I were to bring a classical harp in there, it might kind of change the balance in a way that doesn't enhance the music. It works great at the beginning, but I don't think that there would be much I could do that would make sense. Sure, I could strum the chords because they're very simple. It's basically 1-4-5, isn't it? Throughout most of the piece. But would it add to the music? I don't really think so. I think it's perfect just as it is. And, well, let's see. Rocket. Prime Jive. Go have some fun. I'll see you soon.